Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Brand Out, the podcast all about how to stand out with your brand. My name is Tony Nash. I'm your host today. And today we're going to be talking about a topic that you may love, you may hate. Either way, it's a controversial topic. And that is the brand of the MLM, the multi-level marketing brand. There's a lot of brands out there that kind of utilize this model. And I'm not an expert on it, but I have somebody with me who I think is an expert on this topic and has had a lot of success with MLMs, not just one, but now a second one. And that is Jessica Sivertsen. Jessica, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, we've talked about doing a podcast multiple times.
I've turned you down
Yes,
multiple
I've been rejected,
times.
but this was the topic. This was the one they're like, let's do this one.
Yes.
And really what prompted this is you made a Facebook post about, 2 weeks ago?
Yep.
And it was a long one. And normally I don't read long Facebook posts, but I was intrigued and the story kept me going. And I kept hitting read more, read more, read more. And I read it and it was awesome. Like it was very inspiring to hear the story of how, you were, well, I won't tell your story for you. We'll kind of let you get into the story, but kind of see where you started from, how you got into an MLM, how it really worked for you and gave you the life that you want. And I know you've talked to me about, you should join this company. I'm like, is it an MLM? And you're like, is there something wrong with MLMs? And I'm not trying to be snarky. My parents had some really bad experiences back in the day with probably what were now considered to be Ponzi schemes, maybe not direct MLM. And I know there's some different things. So we'll talk about the differences between a Ponzi and an actual product that is being sold. But yeah, so I thought that's what prompted me to have you on. I just thought this would be a great topic because if it is just getting a bad rap, obviously I know a lot of people that have had unbelievable success. And so I want to give you kind of the opportunity to talk about that. So before we dive into the topic, why don't you tell our audience a little bit about you and about yourself?
Yeah. So my name's Jessica. As you said, I am a business owner, a mom. I have run with multiple different businesses over the last 10 years now. And two of my most successful things have come from MLMs, but it also opened the door for me to run my own brand and businesses that I wanted to start because it gave me it showed me what I could do, showed me what I was capable of.
Some confidence, some experience.
Gave me some confidence.
Yeah. So, we're going to link the Facebook post in the comments of this podcast. So if you want to read it, it's a very inspiring story. It's probably a 3 to 4 minute read. So it's not that long, but for Facebook, it seems like a long post, right? It's not really, our attention spans are so short now. But it's an inspiring story. And so let's just kind of try to recap that. So how did you and why did you first get into MLM? And for people who don't know, MLM stands for multi-level marketing, right?
Yep,
that's kind of the
exactly.
thing. Okay, so there's levels and people say, oh, that's a pyramid,
whatever.
But how did you, before we get into what it is, let's talk about how you kind of got into it.
Yes, absolutely. So me and my husband were just working long hours. We were working very hard and we liked what we did. He was in school to be an engineer. I was a hairstylist. I loved having people in my chair, building relationships. I learned some very valuable skills.
Sure.
Having someone come in and sit there and share their story with you and being able to just communicate and pour into them. So I miss it. I loved it, but I had my first child and I didn't want to leave every day. I was taking her to my mom's.
This was around 2016, right?
Yeah, 2016. Taking her to my mom's every day. And I went in, I think, 3 weeks postpartum to start getting back in with my clients.
That's tough.
Yes.
That's tough.
And so I had been praying that whole 3 weeks, the whole 3 weeks I was off, I was praying for an option of like, maybe I don't want to do this. Maybe I don't want to go to work Monday through Friday. There has to be another option.
There's got to be a better way.
There's got to be something.
That's the entrepreneurial spirit.
Yes.
Right? We just feel like there's got to be something better than this.
Yes. Yeah. I very much believe in creating. If you're stuck in a place, you don't like what you're doing in life, then find another way because life is way too short.
Yes.
So creating the life that I really wanted to and doing it now, well, I knew I wanted to have more children. So first baby, then we found, I don't even remember how it came about, but somebody came and they were selling LuLaRoe. And granted, I wasn't in love with the product. I wasn't in love with the brand, but she came in and it was dollar signs because after she was in the salon, it was, I made $900 tonight. And I thought, well, shoot, I just
Yeah.
worked. I just
Whole
worked all
shift.
week and I made $500.
Yeah.
So it intrigued me because of the dollar signs.
So
And
what is LuLaRoe? It's a clothing line.
clothing.
Yeah,
It
mostly
is
like leggings
still,
and stuff. It's still
yeah,
in
it's
existence.
still in existence.
Do you have anything to do with them today?
I do not. Nope.
So you said in the post that you and your husband were making like 30 grand a year, 20 to
Yeah,
30
I think
grand a
that
year.
might be generous. The
Yeah.
30 grand a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
And
it was
so
not a
you
lot.
see this person that comes in and she's like, I made $900 last night. And you're like, okay, maybe I don't love the product or the brand like you said, but maybe there's something to this, right?
Yes.
So, and at this time you are, I don't mean to date you, but how old are you at this time?
That's a great question. 24.
24 years old. So you're young
Yep.
and you got big eyes of what the world could be, and you haven't yet been jaded by bad experiences.
Yes,
And
that's
you're
true.
like, you're an optimist, right? And we're all
Yes.
that way when we're young. And so you had a party, or you went to a party.
Yes.
So tell me kind of how that went and how you ended up saying, all right, I'm going to invest this money.
Yeah. So she told me about how much she made, and I went home and I started just digging in. I didn't tell her I was interested at that point, but I'm like, okay, what is this about? And, most of the people who were there spending money at that party were kind of like my group. So I thought, well, if they're going to buy from her, they're going to buy from me.
Yeah.
So I started digging in and realized that I have to spend $6,000 to start this business, this MLM.
Which is a lot of money.
A lot of money. It was a quarter of our income.
Yeah.
I had to borrow the money from my mom to start the business. And
Hey,
that,
good for your mom for believing in you. Some parents wouldn't loan that.
yes, that's so true.
Yeah.
It was a big risk. But at that point, our goal was we needed a new vehicle. And it was going to take, we didn't want to get a loan out. So it was
Yeah.
going to take a long time to get a new vehicle when you're making what we were making.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and borrowed money from my mom. We talked about it a lot before we did it. We went to a couple other, what did they even call them? Like these home parties.
Yeah.
can't
My
think of
mom used to have like home interior parties, Tupperware parties, all these things in her house. And I was always like, why are these people over here looking at all this stuff? So it's probably something like that.
Yes, exactly. So we went to a couple more and we decided, you know what? We're going to go for it. So $6,000 in. It took at that point, I want to say you had to wait around 6 weeks for your inventory,
Wow.
which was a long time.
Especially, yeah, just with that kind of money.
Yes,
Yeah.
it took a long time. So once we got our inventory in, though, it was full swing. I mean, we had boxes of stuff in a 10 by 10 bedroom and we ran with it.
So a couple things. So did your mom, when you said, hey, mom, I need $6,000, okay. And did you say it's for a business idea? Did you say it's for this specific product? And did she believe in the product, or did she say, I just believe in you, Jess?
So at that point, she was super hesitant. She actually came to a couple parties with me to see like, okay, what is this about? And I remember she really quizzed my sponsor at the time who I signed up under. When we went, she was like, okay, like, can you actually make money? How does this work?
At this point, does she know you want the money?
Yes. At
Okay,
this
so
point,
she's doing
she
her due
was
diligence.
investigating. Yes.
She is investigating her investment.
Yes,
Is this a
exactly.
good investment? Okay,
Yes.
good. And so she ultimately decided to do it.
Yep.
You jumped in. It took 6 weeks. And then you said in the post, like you started selling and you started having success right away. But you had discovered this new thing that Facebook had
Yes.
just laid out, which was Facebook Live.
Yes.
And anytime these new technologies or these new platforms come out, the early adopters always seem to be the ones who have a good amount of success with it. Like people who got into TikTok in 2019, 2020, they're killing it right now.
Yes.
So tell me about how you saw this kind of new thing and thought I could use that for my brand. I could use that to make money.
Yeah, so I'll always remember the first Facebook Live that I saw because I remember a light bulb just went off in my brain. But it was just my friends at a campfire.
Yeah.
And so I think it was my cousin. He was posting at a campfire. They were all just messing around, hanging out at the campfire. And I'm thinking, what is this? Like, what is going on here? And
You saw
start
dollar
to-
signs again.
Yes. Immediately my brain is like, oh my word, this gives me a huge network of people that I can now reach out to and pull in, because originally it was like, who do I know? But then it became like, okay, who can I reach out to?
Yeah.
And it ends up being thousands, millions of people
For
at that
sure.
point that you can reach out to. So Facebook Live, I remember the first time we did Facebook Live was like one of the scariest things. And to this
Yeah,
day,
there's no editing.
yes, it's terrifying.
Totally
and to
put
this
yourself out
day,
there.
it is like a huge part of my brand. So it has continued.
It's so funny to me because I saw this morning you posted that you were nervous you were going to be on a podcast today. And I'm like, Jess has been on camera live,
Hours.
live, which is way different than this. You know, we're just
Yes.
filming, and I'm like,
Yes.
how could she be nervous? But everything's different, right? So,
Yes.
I've been on other people's podcasts, and I was also nervous. So, okay, so you started selling. Now, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but I noticed like when I had discovered you online, I somehow I saw a live sale, and at that point, you had already transitioned to Avon Grace. But I want to know, I don't want to jump ahead, but I know at that time you were not just doing Facebook Live, but people could actually buy the products through some software you're using while watching the Facebook Live.
Yes.
So tell me about like when you decided LuLaRoe had built your foundation, but now it's time to move on, and then where you discovered that you didn't just promote yourself on the live, but you could actually sell the products live while you were doing the sale.
Yeah. So we were selling the products live with LuLaRoe as well, but we didn't have this technology at the time because it was so new. There obviously wasn't a company who had established that yet. So it was very green. It was sticky notes everywhere. It was, oh, Robin claimed this. Okay, Robin, I'm writing you down for this, and putting a sticky note on a dress and sending an invoice out. So
You just sent like a PayPal invoice, or what did you?
it was Shopify. Everything was run through Shopify.
Okay. Wow.
But you would get an invoice that would just say $26, $55, $70. You've no idea what you're even buying at that point because there's no pictures of the products.
Yeah.
People were just trusting. It was very, very interesting. And then we came with the boutique. New technology came, and it was huge to be able to actually have. We didn't have hours where we had to be up in the night at that point, right? We had invoices sent out automatically.
It automated a lot of the process.
Yes.
So you started in 2016. Then you said you moved to Avon Grace Co. by 2018. So within 2 years, a lot happened.
A lot happened.
So tell me a little bit about life, still doing LuLaRoe, and how it kind of consumed you, but the kind of money that you don't have to give specific figures, but how it kind of was changing your life.
Yeah, for sure. So we started out, I want to say within the first month, we had paid off our initial investment with LuLaRoe. In the first year, we paid off all of our debt. We paid off our house, our cars, everything.
That's crazy.
It was
That's
wild.
crazy. Like nobody does that.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got to, I want to say we were top 5 at one point out of 90,000 consultants. And during this time, we weren't running a team at all. We were just selling the product. We were just kind of in our own zone, which is actually one of my regrets now is I wasn't building a community with like-minded business people. I just wanted to do what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So didn't build a community, but I was running. So Facebook Live was pretty much our only sales platform at that time. After we got to the top of LuLaRoe, we started to realize, we don't need this company anymore. They kind of taught us what we needed to grow, and we moved on to the next company, and that was a huge risk. We left a 6-figure income to start our own brand. And once we did that, our business soared people absolutely loved it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think you came to us when maybe it was 2019. We were looking at moving into a space in Lynchburg, and you wanted help with some logo stuff and some branding. And that's kind of how I had seen you online, and I had seen this. I had no idea. Someone had told me that I think Kellen Caswell, who's related to you, was like, my cousin is killing it. Yeah. And she's like, and I'm like, is that the girl that I always see Facebook Live selling clothes? And he's like, yeah, like they got boxes, they got trucks showing up every day to their house dropping off boxes. I'm like, man, that's crazy. So I've always kind of been watching from a distance, and it's been really cool to see your journey and watch you. And then you went to brick and mortar, which is always a new challenge. You decided to open a boutique, which you mostly used as a studio.
Yes.
Right? I mean, you sold stuff out of there, but it was for the studio, I'm assuming.
Yes.
And then you opened a coffee shop as well, which was a kind of a pivot.
Yes.
So tell me how that went.
Yeah. So coming into the Lynchburg community, we absolutely loved it. It was a huge learning curve because at that point, like everything had been run online. It was very much behind closed doors. And then we were all of a sudden jumping into 2 businesses at once. It was a massive investment at that point. And I remember when we bought when we rented our space, there weren't even concrete floors in there yet. It was a dirt floor. I don't think there was drywall yet. So anyways, investment to build it all out.
Yeah.
Getting that up and running. Absolutely loved it while we had it. When we sold the coffee shop, we were relieved. We will not be doing the food industry anymore, but it was so much fun to build that
Sure.
community, and they showed up. I mean,
Yeah.
they were
It's a tough
excited.
business.
Yes,
It's a
it
tough
is.
business.
It
Yeah.
is.
It was good coffee.
Yes.
Well, so do you follow Gary Vee at all? Gary Vaynerchuk?
I don't.
Okay, Gary Vee is like a big like social media guru. He's all over Instagram and TikTok, and he's always one of these early adopter guys. He was one of the first people to figure out you could sell products online.
Yep.
His family is an immigrant. His family owned a wine store. He figured out how to sell wine online on the internet. No one had really been selling products online, and so that's kind of what was his claim to fame. And so I always like watch him because he's always telling you about the next thing that's going to go big. Like I remember him in 2020 saying, "You need to start making TikToks. You need to start making TikToks." I'm like, how would a business make a TikTok? Like it's so dumb. It's people dancing. It's not. I watch it, but I don't see it.
Yeah.
But now businesses are killing it with TikTok, and he's done that with so many things. And he says that right now, he says people need to find a way to do live sales for their products. And he says what you're going to start seeing over the next 5 years is a lot of these brick and mortar businesses are going to close their doors. They're going to turn their boutique or their shop into a studio, and they're going to use it to do live sales. They're not going to have a place where people can come in and shop. They're strictly going to rent that space for this really cool studio. And I'm like, I know someone who already did that, like pretty much. So I just thought that was really, really cool. So today, so you sold the brick and mortar and the business, the coffee shop.
Yes.
So
The
someone's
boutique is still there,
it's still there,
but
and
the
it's
coffee shop. So we
is
do.
it still owned by you guys?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So we still have the Avon Grace in Langsburg. The coffee shop is run by someone else, and we have the studio still in that same space. So our online business is what the majority of the space is.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. And now you're kind of have gone into a newer product, which you have some behind you there. And,
Yes.
so tell us a little bit about what you're doing now.
Yeah. So I didn't have I wasn't looking for an MLM. I wasn't doing any research in up and coming MLMs. But because of the success that we had found in the past with LuLaRoe, we actually had one of our fellow colleagues reach out at that point and be like, hey, you need to look at this. This is new in the wellness space. It's going to change the game in the wellness space because it hasn't been done before. So, I mean, we can name 25 wellness companies right now with an MLM structure, but none of them have the bioactive precision peptides.
Okay.
So I thought, all right, I'm going to check it out. I'll look at it. And sure enough, I had never been a part of a startup. I mean, this was a true, I think at this point we're 18 days into the company. So 18 days in, and it has been, it's been exciting. It's been great.
Yeah, it seems like you're really enjoying it. I've seen you make
Yes.
some content about it, and I've seen you post some results that you're having with it as well. And I don't know much about the product, so I want to give you some time to talk a little about it because you just said a word bio something peptic acids, and I don't know.
I lost you.
Yeah, I don't know what any of it means.
Yes.
But it seems to me, so, I'll dig into, we've had this conversation that, I've had a bad taste about MLMs. Like I
Yep.
told you, my mom used to do home interior. I don't know if you know what that is. It's like knickknacks and pictures you can buy to decorate your house. And all these
Yes.
ladies come over and they're buying stuff from each other. And then she did Tupperware where they're buying all these, 36-piece sets. And so, and she just seemed to always have a lot of stuff that she didn't move. Of course, this is pre-internet. This is you're going to sell to your network of people that you can physically meet, right?
Yeah.
So it's a challenge. So I don't know that she really lost big on that, but she never really made money with those. And then they got involved from some people in our church with Amway, which is kind of the big name in the MLM space.
Yes.
It's the people either love it or they hate it. And the guy that got my dad in was making killing. So my dad said, no, waited, finally put in a bunch of money, lost all his money. Because he's not really like the salesman kind of guy. He's thinking,
Sure.
I just get two people and they get two people. And then, it kind of goes from there. And then they got into this other one that was like penny auctions.
Okay.
I don't remember what it was called, but I remember my dad put in the most money he had ever put in. He pulled out some of his retirement, and because this other guy was showing him like $70,000 checks he was getting every week. Of course, when you see someone getting $70,000 checks, you're like, I'm stupid not to jump on this.
Yeah.
And so he put in, I don't remember the amount, it was $5,000 or $10,000, which was my parents are very blue collar. And they lost all of it. Couldn't get people. And then all the people at the bottom kind of lost out. The the business went under investigation by the SEC and the FBI, and turned out to be this big Ponzi scheme where the people at the top get wealthy. And I understand they're not all like that, but people put them all, a lot of people put them all in that same category. So when you reached out to me about this product, my first question, you remember, I was like, is it an MLM? Because everyone says this revolutionary new groundbreaking product, no one's ever done it.
Yep.
And I'm just like, okay,
I've heard that before.
I've heard that before. Exactly.
Yep.
So I trust you. And I'm like, man, if Jess is doing this, this is probably legit. But I'm like, I have had, I had some PTSD, I guess. Not even personally, just I actually did join the penny auction one when I was young. I got a couple of friends to put in a good amount of money, and they both lost their money as well. I did not. I actually made a little money, but my friends lost money. And so I felt bad that my friends lost money. And of course, this company did not have a product. It was really just like a circulation of money somehow. I don't really know how it works, but somebody got rich.
Yes.
So you have the person like me that's like, okay, MLMs are a scam, right? And I don't know that I would say that I wouldn't say that, but like they've had those experiences with MLMs and maybe put them all in the same category. So, in your own words, describe what is an MLM as you understand it, and maybe how it works with the company you're with now.
Yeah. So the first thing when you're talking to me, I'm thinking back at your mom. Okay. So your mom had reached out and tried these 3 companies. And it's kind of like, what kept that pull for her? Was it the financial freedom? Was it that she was depressed at home? And
she ran an at-home daycare for 40 years. And so you got kids.
Yeah.
That aren't your kids. I grew up with a bunch of kids that weren't my brothers and sisters in my house, and they would break my toys, and they would, take my stuff home and eat our food and all the things, know. So I think she was trying to find a way to not have to watch so many kids because, my dad worked in a factory and made limited amount of money. And so she was trying to find a way like you to make money from home. Yeah.
So that's one of the first things. Like if I put an MLM in my words, and we can talk about the more true definition of it, but my words is it's mostly women, and it's mostly people who are reaching out for either financial freedom or they're looking for some type of escape almost. Like they want something different than what they're currently creating in their life. Now, most MLMs, you have to think about, we don't hate MLMs. MLMs is like a genius marketing brand. Yeah. So if we think of us as business owners, what's the best way for a business to grow? It's word of mouth. I mean, we can run ads and we can do all this marketing. It's great. Our business is going to grow that way, but word of mouth is always the best way. Get your
customers to be brand ambassadors, and they're selling your product for you.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So the MLM branding is really genius. You get all of these people to spread the word for you, and in turn, they get a paycheck. Yeah. So it's not the branding we dislike. It's the companies who have done it wrong, and the products and the people who've been burned. And all of us can share of people who've been burned by MLMs. Yeah. I mean, I know people personally who were burned by LuLaRoe. Granted, I had great success. Some people were burned by it. They invested $6,000 and lost their money. I
don't want to cut you off, but why do you think that is? So do you think what's the difference between the people who have success in something like that with a product like LuLaRoe and somebody who doesn't have success? Is it truly attached to the person? Do you have to have the right temperament, personality for it, or can anybody make money doing it?
I think that anyone could make money doing it if they're willing to grow and change. There's certain people where if they're going to sit comfortable where they're at, they're not going to make any money because they're not reaching out. They're not networking. Yeah. You said something on a personal note with your parents or somebody who they didn't ever post about it, right? So they wanted to do it.
My mom did isogenics and never made a post.
Yes. So I do think personality is a lot of it. And if they're not willing to get out of their comfort zone,
put yourself out there.
Yeah, you do.
And I think that's the case with any business, right? Like if you're going to run a business, I think right now entrepreneurship is like really trendy. It's popular. Everybody wants to be it. But what I have learned over the last 10 years is not a lot of people truly are an entrepreneur. And I hate to say, and I'm an optimist. So I'm like, if somebody comes with an idea, I'm like, yeah, you should do that. But I've kind of in the last few years been like asked questions like maybe you going to work for someone else and doing something you enjoy and love is okay. Like that's not everybody has the tenacity, the stomach for it. Like there's some sleepless nights. Yes. There's some like, how are we going to pay this bill, or how are we going to pay these people, or how are we going to reload our inventory? Like those are very real things in business. And either you have the stomach for it and like, oh, it's fine, it's all going to work out, or you just like, I can't do this anymore.
Yes.
And so like, in the world of this, it's not necessarily the same as owning a brick and mortar business, because that's a whole nother stress.
Yeah.
But you are essentially a business owner.
Yeah.
And so, I guess for me is the reason that some people have success and some don't is maybe some people aren't cut out for it.
I mean, for sure. I think certain people, I mean, I'll use my sister as an example. She's tried different things and she will tell you, you know what? I want a boss. I want a 9 to 5 and I want them to tell me what to do every day.
That's my sister. Yeah.
Yes. I want to know that I get paid this amount every week. I don't want to stress.
Yeah.
And
I think people need to understand, if you're watching, that's okay.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, life's too short to not be happy. And if you see someone else that's like killing, you're like, oh, I'm smarter than that person, I should do that. Or I'm just as smart, or I'm just as good. But you're like, I'm happy with where I'm at. I'm happy with my job. I'm happy with my life. And you want predictability. Like for me, when I worked a job, the thing that killed me, that took life from me every day, is routine. Just go and do the same thing every single day. Like, but some people thrive off that. Like they need it. They need, like my sister's example, like, give me a list. I love checking off a list. Give me a list of 10 things and I will do them. And I don't want a list. Like I want new challenges every day. And so I think part of this is, in any kind of business, people have to kind of know, am I doing this just as a little side hustle, or am I trying to change my life with this? And then, I think your results will be equal to the amount of effort you're willing to put into it.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I think that was a very good explanation of the MLM thing. You use some other terms for it. You said, what were the other terms?
So there's network marketing, affiliate marketing.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of
ways
big
people
companies
do it to kind of pretty up the name so that people don't use the name
Sure.
MLM.
Yeah, it's kind of trying to
Same
avoid the
idea, though.
MLM, because that draws a red flag in a lot of people's brains. Yeah, absolutely.
The company you're with now, what's the name of it?
Make Wellness.
Make Wellness. Okay.
Yes.
So let's take Make Wellness as an example. How does somebody join?
Yeah.
How do they invest? And then how do they ultimately make money? Like, what is the process?
Yeah. So one of the cool things about Make Wellness that drew me in is they kind of wanted to get rid of the MLM ick, as they would say. And they wanted to go more towards the affiliate marketing brand, but like looking into the future, like what do we want 2060 to look like? What do we want the affiliate marketing brand to be then? And so they took this company and they got rid of some of the things that, like, we all get a little PTSD from, or, you have to reach silver star status and this person has to hit this, and, like all of that, where you're like, oh no, to get my paycheck, we have to hit all of these things in the comp plan. They just got rid of all of it.
Okay.
They created an affiliate marketing brand where you sign up for free. You get a link for free. You don't have to spend any money or invest any money. So if somebody, Sue, down the road decides, hey, I want to sign up, but actually, I'm not cut out for this. I really like my 9 to 5 and I don't want to talk to anybody about this. She's not out any money.
Okay. That's a big deal. That's a big difference. And is this product, like you said, like with LuLaRoe, it's a lot of women.
Yes.
Is this product something that men use, that men can sell, that men will have success with?
I think something cool about this product is that it has been a huge mix of men and women, but also a lot of professional wellness, physical trainers, doctors, chiropractic. A lot of professionals have gotten in on this brand because of the health aspect and the longevity of these peptides. Peptides is like huge in the wellness space right now, in the workout space right now. It's very trending and people don't fully understand them yet.
Yeah. So you sign up and you become an affiliate of the program. They send you a link. This is where you can, I guess, white label, drop ship, wholesale you're gonna drop ship the products. You're not actually buying inventory.
Yes.
So someone can order from your link and you get you're marking it up, or the markup is already built in, I'm assuming. And then,
yep, you get your percentage, your affiliate percentage.
So what if I never get people under me? So let's say you sign me up. Okay.
Yeah.
So my sales will benefit you. That makes sense.
Yep.
But typically in these types of things, I have to also get 2 people, one on each side, to build my, whatever you call it. We won't use the word pyramid to build my triangle. Okay. My legs. Yes. And so what if I just say, I'm just going to sell the product myself. I'm not going to get anybody else in. Can you make money doing it that way?
Yeah, absolutely. At that point, you're an affiliate for the company. You sell, You sell $2,000, you get whatever percentage back on that. It doesn't matter if you never have a team.
But you make more, obviously, if you get other people selling below you or however that works.
Yes.
So, okay. All right. So I think I understand. So tell me just a little bit briefly, like, what are the products
Yeah.
and how do they work?
Okay. So if we're going into peptides, first thing you think of with peptides, you think injectable. The biggest one is Ozempic. A lot of people think of Ozempic, which is a peptide, and people have a lot of success with it. But there's also a lot of negative side effects and things that can come from Ozempic. Okay.
Yes.
So people are doing these injectable peptides. They're super expensive. And not everyone wants to inject themselves with something.
Yeah.
That's another thing. So this company said, well, why do they have to be injectable? Okay. Now, a lot of people out there will say they can't survive the lining in your gut. Peptides cannot survive.
Gotcha.
So they came out with an ingestible peptide that will process through your gut, get into your bloodstream. And it has changed the game because it's really the first of the brand that can target specific areas. So if someone says, hey, I want to build muscle, I'll say, okay, I have a peptide for that. If they want to lose weight, if they want to focus on stress and anxiety, because they're precision peptides. So they're targeting that area and regenerating your cells.
Okay.
And helping create longevity.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of stuff about Ozempic and
Yes.
Mounjaro and all these things. And I have some friends who have done it. It's funny to me the number of people who are like anti-vaccination, but like will just inject themselves with this new thing that they don't know anything
Yes.
about because they can lose some weight. And I have not been an early adopter on that, but I've had a lot of people suggest it to me. My lifestyle and busyness, my genetics, whatever, I have always struggled with weight. And I'll usually get on some diet fitness plan for about 6 months, have great results, and then I just somehow go back to whatever, you know. So some
Because
people
that's a lot of work. People do want quick fixes
yeah.
to a certain extent. But I did leave out a really valuable point too. So the peptides that people know as injectable, they're synthetic. So they're lab created. So these peptides are all nature based. So for example, if I was to give you like, here, check out this weight loss peptide, it comes from yeast. So there's nothing in it that can harm your body. It's all things that are natural to your body.
So like, what are the results people are? I mean, we'll just take the weight loss one. Somebody starts with the weight loss peptide, and you know, Ozempic says you'll lose 40 pounds in 60 days or something like that, which seems unhealthy to me.
Yes.
But what is kind of the projected results they're having?
Yeah. So one of the biggest things with lean is that you won't break down any muscle. It only targets visceral fat. You can't really find a weight loss product on the market that doesn't break down muscle. In fact, that's one of the biggest things with those injections. And so some people, I mean, I just had someone message me last week. She lost 28 pounds in her first month. But then I had someone message me like, hey, I dropped 2 pounds. I don't know if I want to keep investing in this.
Oh, wow.
So it can be a very wide variety. Yeah, absolutely. And then it's also people who are willing to like adapt certain things. We don't really want to advertise a quick fix. Like, hey, take this pill, keep eating your mac and cheese.
That's my hesitation with the Ozempic stuff and Mounjaro, because
Yeah.
I feel like anything that's a quick fix is not going to last. Like, you know, my wife and I did carnivore and we enjoyed it very much, but it requires a tremendous amount of time and meal prep. And our lives are so busy with 6 kids and sports and 2 businesses and all the things. We get into a place where like we can't always eat this food every day. Like we want to. Like we can't grill a steak, you know, on the kids' basketball game, you know. So like, you know, there were some challenges to it. And that's kind of how everything we've done. We kind of more say we just want a healthier lifestyle. But we also, because we are on the go all the time, we're going to have to grab McDonald's on the bus ride home. We're going to have to get a pizza just because the kids need to eat. Like there's conveniences to those things that our lifestyle kind of demands. And so to me, I'm not big on like, let me just lose 40 pounds real quick and then it doesn't last. It doesn't change anything in my behaviors.
Yes.
So, okay. So I think I understand. You know, we've been here about 30 minutes and we're kind of diving into it. We've talked a little bit about we talked about what MLMs are. We've talked a little bit about the skeptic. I want to give a couple of comments that you hear a lot of skeptical people say and kind of give you the opportunity to address them. One is a common criticism that the only people at the top are the ones that make real money. So what would you say to that?
So I would say, first off, everyone starts somewhere. Like those people start at the bottom at one point, and heck yeah, the people at the top are making a lot of money. I mean, people would be dumbfounded to see how much people at the
For
top
sure.
are making.
Yeah. The early
But
adopters.
yes,
The
absolutely.
people at
But
the top of any business make the most money.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But to that point, I also have people who started last month who are making a
Yeah.
decent amount of money and making a big difference. So it's not so much about the people at the top make all this money and the people at the bottom lose out. It's, well, if you're going to work for it and you're going to, post about the product, talk about the product, then you can make money too. You might not make millions,
Yeah.
but you might bring home $1,000 that month, and that might pay for your groceries.
So kind of what I'm picking up, what I'm learning here, because knowing you, knowing my parents, knowing their friends who have made money at this, I really do think that obviously there are some that are just a scam. That exists. We have to admit that.
Yeah.
But then there are real companies with real products that use this model of affiliate marketing, multi-level marketing. That is, as you said, it is a good model.
Yeah.
Like that idea,
It's
that's what
smart.
we do here in
Yeah.
our business, right? We try to get our customers to talk about us and push our products and incentivize that. So I get all that. But I think what I'm hearing is there is the person that is selling or the investing or whatever you want to call them. There is a heavy weight on it being the right type of person.
Yeah.
So I would say, tell us what you think or who you think is the right kind of person that should do this, and that what you've seen would probably have success.
Yeah. So I don't even know if I want to say the right type of person, or like, how bad do you want it?
Sure.
Like, are you willing to work for it? Do you feel stuck? Or, are your finances just not making sense? I have people who are so introverted who are absolutely killing it because they got to a point where they're like, you know what? If I don't do something, I'm going to lose my house.
Yeah.
Or if I don't do something, I got to put all my kids in daycare. So it really does come down to how bad do you want it? How driven are you? Are you willing to wake up and do the same thing? If you get 20 no's, are you still going to keep going for
Sure.
that one yes?
Or the eye rolls, the
Yes.
people like, yeah.
Are you?
Yeah. I mean, I have to be honest, like for me, the fact that I have two, we'll say reputable businesses, some people might agree or disagree with that, but I think we've built two good companies that have a good reputation. People understand the brick and mortar, the print shop, that they get that. So there's no like, oh, that's never going to work. You do get it some, but then if I then start to use my network or the people I've worked with and start to present them an MLM, there is a little bit of a pause on my, like, people are just going to be like, oh, why is it, what's this all about? Or the eye roll. So how do you think people overcome that fear of like people just not being all about it or not being about it at all?
I feel like my brand in general is built around authenticity and trust. I've spent years building trust with these customers, and that is huge. That if I'm going to bring something in, MLM or not, that I need to have people backing me up and people trusting that, okay, if Jessica's doing this,
And that's it.
then it must be a good product. So
That's
I'm
why
going to
having
try
the
it.
conversation.
Yes.
Because I trust you. I feel like you're a reputable person. I don't feel like you're scammy at all. So like what's got me thinking twice about the whole thing is you and following your story. And so, I think that the things that we've discussed are very real, the fears that people have.
Yeah.
But I think that, like you said, if someone's going to really succeed at it, there is no like get rich quick, just set it and forget it type thing. If that existed, everybody would do it, right?
Right.
It does require a little bit of hustle, a little bit of
does.
work, a little bit getting outside of your comfort zone if you're going to have success at anything. And I know how much time and effort I put into making this business succeed. And that's still a daily struggle.
Yep.
And so if you're going to do something like this, you have to be willing to put that same level of effort, at least up front, into getting it set up and those types of things.
Yeah.
So I know we'll kind of bring this whole thing home. That you just got back from a near 3-month trip to Florida with your family.
Yes.
Which who gets to do that, at your age especially.
Mm-hmm.
And, we could follow the journey online, see the fun that you guys are getting to do. So how has this kind of changed your life? Like, how has this put you in a place where like, I can go be away for a couple months and not feel it?
Yeah. So I feel like what comes with an MLM typically too is like that hustle culture of like, you have to run and you have to, you never get to stop and all of this. And I don't love that. I feel like I could be coming into this company and running full speed and giving it all I got and missing out on things. But also something like this can provide is actually a more passive income where you can do it anywhere.
Yeah.
And you can do it from a place of rest.
Yeah.
That's something that's really big for me. So without this new peptide opportunity, I would have been here with my current businesses, working my businesses because they don't travel well.
They don't. Yeah.
And this is something that you truly can do from anywhere. And it can be thought out well and from a place of rest. It doesn't have to be this panic of just throwing this out there everywhere. It can still be a really well done brand.
Well, I think it's important for people to understand that just because Jessica makes it look easy does not mean it's easy at all.
No,
like,
it's not.
People don't get to see people weren't there when you were staying up all night printing shipping labels and then getting up the next day and shipping things out. And even now, I'm sure there are things that happen behind the scenes. People get to see the fun side, but there's still a lot of work involved with any kind of thing that you're going to do.
Yes.
And you've taken 10 years to build a network of people. So like somebody who jumps in on day one is not going to have your network. And so you can't get discouraged. It takes time. Anything takes time. And I think, I tell anyone who I talk to that's thinking about starting a business, even if I think it's a great idea, the get rich quick thing is so rare. It's not that it doesn't exist. It does exist, but it's one in a billion, it's like not that many people. And so just, you got to be willing to put your head down and put the work in.
Yep.
And, one of the questions I have for you is, how has your personal brand helped you build, success in this kind of environment?
Yeah, I think that goes back to the authenticity. I really think that I tell my girls, like, people are buying you and your family. It's not so much what product I have. They're going to fall in love with the product after. As long as I'm giving them a really good product, they're going to decide they love it. But they're here for me and my family because we put it out there. We've built trust and relationship with them. And so it's really just coming down to the product. The love for the product sometimes comes second, but they want to be there to support you.
I love that. And I think people watching have to understand, or listening, you have to understand that with anything, you have to be willing to put yourself out there.
Yep.
You have to be willing to do things outside of your comfort zone in any business. If you're going to open a pizza parlor, like, you're going to have to put yourself out there some, because it's not if you build it, they will come. What role do you think social media plays in success of this kind of thing?
Well, I mean, there's companies you think of the original companies that really killed it, like Mary Kay and Avon, and people, that was door to door. That was really word of mouth.
Yeah.
So it can be done. And I have some girls who they come more from that generation of, I'm just going to talk to people everywhere I go. But then social media gives you like much more of an easier, it can be an easier route. You don't have to put in as much work if you're doing
access. Yeah.
Yeah, because you have access to a much bigger network.
Yeah. It always amazes me to see businesses that have been around for 10, 15, 20 years and are still not utilizing social media at all. And it's such a huge part of what we do. And I understand that we're a digital marketing company, so it kind of fits.
Yeah.
But I think every business, I remember 10 years ago when I started trying to convince people they should have a Facebook page. And there were so many businesses that were like,
why?
Yeah. But now I think every business has a Facebook page, but they're not using it.
Mm-hmm.
They're not posting on it. And, like, oh, I posted something, I got 2 likes. And so it's not worth my time. Well, it takes time to build an audience and build
consistency. Yes.
But there is so much opportunity. I think what social media does, it just opens a door of opportunity. You still got to walk through it. You still got to pull people to the door, but it's just such a huge opportunity that people are missing out on, and it's worth putting time and effort into.
It is.
So the name of our podcast is Brand Out, which is really standing out with your brand. What do you think in this space makes somebody stand out?
Oh man, I keep repeating myself, but it really is just being true to yourself. If you are not putting yourself out there, people are bored.
Yeah.
If you don't start off your post with something personal about you, people don't care. So it really needs to be, people are following you because they like you or dislike you, one or the other, but they still want something personal about you in there.
Yeah.
So just being real and true to who you are and being okay with sharing that.
And that's one thing I could say I've witnessed with you, like knowing you in person and seeing you online, they match. And so there is, I think, a high value to that. What would your advice be for someone that's curious They've listened to this and they're all right.
Yeah.
I'm curious, but they're hesitant.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, if you're looking at any brand, any MLM, let's say network marketing, it really needs to be the right products and the right leadership, because I mean, there's other MLMs that we didn't talk about in my story that I did sign up for, but I didn't do anything with. Okay, so I would just say if it's something that you feel aligned with, that you would get excited with sharing about, then that might be perfect for you. But if it's something where you're just jumping in for the dream, you're not excited about the
Yeah.
product, then maybe you move on to something else or look for something else.
And that makes such practical sense. I mean, if you were going to start a business selling hot dogs
Right.
because you saw somebody have success at that, you know, but you don't like hot dogs, you don't care about hot dogs, then you're only going to have a limited amount of success selling hot
Yes.
dogs, because you're just going to get like, I don't want to make hot dogs for people anymore. And so it's the same with all of these things, right? Anything that's worth getting takes effort and energy and
Yeah.
time. And so I do like that, finding a product that aligns with you, that makes sense to you, that's something you can get behind, so that you don't have any hesitation to push and prod
Yeah.
people like, you got to try this. Even if you're not an affiliate marketer, you got to try the product. It's great, you know.
See,
So
and we all do it. If we find our favorite shampoo, our favorite restaurant, whatever it is, we're telling people about it, right? Because we love it and we're excited.
Yeah.
But like, why not get paid for it if it's something that you're excited to do? If we
Absolutely.
could get paid for every restaurant we recommended or every pair of shoes we told them about, whatever it is.
Yeah, Nike should send me a big check
Yes,
for Air Jordan, because
exactly.
I've talked about a lot of shoes. I guarantee I've sold a lot of Nikes and Apple products over the years without getting paid for it.
Yes.
So before we go, we're going to do a little game at the end.
Okay.
Okay. But before I go, I want to give you the opportunity to look into the camera and tell people watching, if they're interested in what you have going,
Yeah.
how they can get a hold of you, how they can just plug whatever you want, plug the boutique, plug your product, plug whatever you want to plug, and just take some time to tell people how they can connect with you.
So I just want to say thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Tony, for having me. This was a lot of fun. I didn't want to do it, but here we are.
You did great.
We're in a job of doing things you don't want to do. So if you guys end up watching this and you're like, I want to know a little more, or maybe you just want to look at the brand and see what I'm all about, you can find us online at Avon Grace. We are local to Langsburg as well, or also Jessica Lynn Sivertsen. I'm on all the social medias because, as Tony says, so you want to plug into those as much as possible.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, we're going to link the comment, the post that you made.
Yes.
Read it. It is an inspiring story. Whether you decide to do this product or do an MLM, or maybe you're thinking about starting a business of your own, it's an inspiring story that someone was in a position in life where they were unhappy, things weren't kind of going the way they want, and they just decided to make a change and found a way to make that happen. And I love that. I love when people don't get stuck in victimhood mentality, but they find a way to make their own story. And so just know, we're inspired by it. We appreciate you coming on today. We appreciate you being here, and we wish you nothing but success. Nothing but success.
I appreciate that.
So, okay. So we're going to do a little game to end the show.
Okay.
And it's called MLM or Nah.
Okay, this could be rough.
So you're I'm going to give you a company.
Okay.
And you're going to say, if it's an MLM, you're just going to say MLM, or if it's not, you're going to say nah.
Okay.
Or not. I don't know. So, okay. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right. MLM or nah. Avon.
MLM.
Kirby Vacuum.
No idea. Let's say.
You got to guess.
Okay, we'll say MLM.
It is not.
Okay.
Kirby Vacuums, they used to, when I was a kid, they'd go around door to door. People would sell these vacuums. But it's not an MLM. It's just a door to door. Their model was they get all these people to buy into, they'd sell them at wholesale, and they'd go door to door selling these vacuums.
All right.
So they still, yeah, kind of, yeah. Mary Kay.
MLM.
Pandora Jewelry.
Not.
That's correct. Tupperware.
MLM.
Scentsy.
MLM.
Cutco. Knives.
I would say that's affiliate marketing. So are we saying no?
This says no. It says direct sales, but not technically an MLM.
Affiliate, yeah.
Monet.
MLM.
I never heard of that one. Pampered Chef.
I'm going to say no.
It is an MLM.
It is.
Pampered
Okay.
Chef is an MLM. Roden and Fields.
MLM.
Pure Romance.
MLM.
It Works.
MLM.
Last one. Bath and Body Works.
No.
No. Okay, good. But yeah, I mean, there's some really reputable companies in there that people have been around for decades. And so you can't say that it's all bad. It's okay to be skeptical. I think this, if you're going into any business, you should be skeptical some. You should
Yeah.
do your diligence. Your mom, before she gave you $6,000, went and did her homework.
Yes,
There's a healthy skepticism. There's like, I want to make sure if I'm going to invest my time, because to me, my time is just as valuable as my money.
Yes.
Especially at this season of my life. So if you're going to invest your time, you're going to invest your money, you're going to invest your energy, you're going to invest your influence, meaning I'm going to take the influence I've built over years with people who who trust me. And
yes, that's
if you're
huge.
then you should do your homework.
Yeah.
You should always have a healthy skepticism and make sure you know what you're doing, and then talk to people who you trust, and then make your decision.
Yes. And the values of the brand.
Yes.
I like to know the values of the brand before I'm investing.
Correct.
Yeah.
And there is no such thing as all bad, right? I mean, you could go to, you was talking to someone about this earlier. You could love Outback Steakhouse, and you could go to one and you're like, this is great, I love it. And then you go to another one and it's just bad service, bad food. And doesn't mean the entire model is bad. It's just, you had a bad restaurant, bad location. And I think it's the case with any of these things as well. There are good ones, there are bad ones, but a lot of it's based on you. What are you willing to do? How much work are you willing to put in? So listen, reach out to Jessica if you're interested, intrigued. I will vouch for her. She is a very trustworthy person. She's a person of faith, and that's something that she's very outward about. So she's not looking to take advantage of people or scam people. I'm going to look more into the product just because I think there's some benefits to me personally. I don't know if I'll be an affiliate or if I'll just be a customer, but I'm intrigued. But if you're looking to change your life, change where you're at, make a difference, then be skeptical a little bit. Do your homework, find out what's going to work for you, find something that you're passionate about, find something that you believe in, and then go for it.
Yes. Don't be afraid to change your life. I mean, you can't do it staying stuck in the same spot. I hate when I hear people complaining about their circumstance, but not willing to do anything about it.
Not willing to change.
Yes.
Yeah. But that is a lot of people.
Yes.
There's a lot of people. And I said, like, victims have two types of people in their life. They have heroes and they have villains.
Yep.
And even the hero will become the villain in their story when it suits them to be the victim. And that is a tough place. If you feel like today, like everything is against you, you got to find a way to break out of that mentality and start by, finding something that you, like I said, are passionate about and you can go for, but don't be afraid to change your life.
Yes.
So, well, Jess, again, thanks again for coming on today. We appreciate it. I had a lot of fun. I'm glad we finally were able to do this.
Yes, thanks for having me. It was good.
I hope we dispelled a lot of myths today and got your curiosity at a peak. So thanks again for joining us. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow us on all the socials. You'll see clips of our podcast on Reels, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts. You could subscribe to our channel at YouTube, and we'd love to hear from you. Let us know in the comments if you have been involved with an MLM, that you've had a good experience, bad experience. We want to hear your opinions. Let us know what you think, and we always like to know what our followers are thinking about what we have to talk about. And if there's a topic or a brand you would like us to discuss, let us know. So remember, go out there, keep building, keep branding, and stand out, and most importantly, brand out. We'll see you next time.
If you enjoyed this content, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. We want to connect with you. Drop a comment, share your thoughts, and let us know what brands you want us to break down next. Follow us on social media for more branding insights, and remember, keep building, keep branding, and always brand out.